Hello, in this video we are going to be covering the basics of the coordinate plane, how to locate points, find distances between them, and determine the midpoint. Let's get into it. We start with two number lines, one horizontal. This is the x-axis, and then one vertical. This is the y-axis. Where they intersect is called the origin with the coordinates 0, 0, and that is right here. This setup forms the xy plane and divides it into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is right here. And in this quadrant, both x and y are positive. So x is positive and y is positive. To the left is quadrant 2. And in this quadrant, x is negative and y is positive. Down below is quadrant 3. And in quadrant 3, both x and y are negative. Finally, in quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative. Now let's plot some points. So I'll first draw my xy plane. So this is my x-axis, and then here is my y-axis. Then I'll add my marks. Every point in the plane is represented by an ordered pair x, y. The first number tells us how far left or right to go from the origin, and the second tells us how far up or down. So let's plot these points. 3, 2, 3, comma, -2, -3, 1, and -2, comma, -3. So for our first point, we are going to go right 3, then we're going to go up 2. So that is right here. So this point has been plotted. For the second point, we're going to go right 3 and down -2. So right here. So this point has been plotted. Next, we have -3, 1. So to the left, -3 and up 1. So this point has been plotted. And finally, -2, -3. So we're going to go left -2 and down -3, which is right here. And that is our last point. Now let's find the distance between 2 points. The formula for the distance between points x1, y1, and x2, y2 is d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This formula comes from the Pythagorean theorem, where the horizontal and vertical differences between the points form the legs of a right triangle. Now let's do some examples. For example 1, let's find the distance between points 1, 3 and 5, 6. Now let's remember our formula. D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's label our points. So this will be x2, this will be y2, and this will be x1, and this will be y1. So now we can plug into our formula. So we will have 5 minus 1 squared plus 6 minus 3 squared. This will simplify to 4 squared plus 3 squared, which will simplify further to 16 plus 9. Then finally, the square root of 25, or 5. So the distance between 1, 3 and 5, 6 is 5. For the second example, let's find the distance between -4, 5 and 3, 2. So the formula is D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1, both squared. So let's plug in our points. So we have x2, y2, x1, y1. So we'll have the square root of x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is -4, squared, then plus y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 5, squared. This will simplify to the square root of 7 squared plus -3 squared, which will simplify further to 49 plus 9, which will again simplify to the square root of 58, which is equivalent to 7.62. So the distance between -4, 5 and 3, 2 is the square root of 58, or 7.62. Now let's find the midpoint. The midpoint of a line segment is the point exactly halfway between the two endpoints. So for the points x1, y1, and x2, y2, the formula is m equals the point x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. It gives us the average of the x values and the average of the y values, which in return is the midpoint. Let's do some examples. For the first example, let's find the midpoint between -5, 5, and 3, 1. So the formula is m equals the point x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So let's label our points. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's plug them in. So our point will be x1, which is -5, plus x2, which is 3, all over 2. Then our y point will be y1, which is 5, plus y2, which is 1, all over 2. This simplifies to -2 over 2 and 6 over 2, which gives us the point -1, 3. So the midpoint between the points -5, 5 and 3, 1 is -1, 3. For the second example, let's find the midpoint between the points 2, -3 and -6, 5. We're going to use the same formula, which is m equals the point x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So let's plug in our points. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So we'll have 2 plus -6 over 2, comma, -3 plus 5 over 2. This will simplify to -4 over 2, comma, 2 over 2, which will give us the point -2, 1. So the midpoint between 2, -3, and -6, 5 is -2, 1. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you'd like me to cover next. And thank you for watching.